You've entered the Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, I have an ultra runner. He's also crewed for the Delivering Hope Journey in 2019. I want to pick his brain about that one. That's some good stories. And I wanted to bring him on today because he's running the Texas Independence Relay solo. So this is going to be a cool interview. Welcome to the zone, Scott Tyner.
Man, Keith, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. This is going to be awesome.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to this. Well, you're running the Texas Independence Relay solo. For those of you who don't know, this year it's going to be about, I haven't really checked on this. I should know this, but it's 185 miles for the 185th anniversary of Texas independence while raising money for the Snowdrop Foundation. We really want to talk about that as well. But the big question I have is, I really want to get right into it, is why? I mean, was there a dream, a sign, or what's the reason you said, I want to raise money for Snowdrop Foundation and pediatric cancer, and I want to run 185 miles solo? Like that's like a lot of things going on. Not to pressure you, that's a lot of pressure. So what was the reasoning here?
Man, so first and foremost, I don't think anybody wants to run 185 miles. It just kind of ends up happening. Man, that's a good question. It's actually when I approached my crew chief, Brian Anderson, about the deal, just to see, because there was no way I was going to be able to do this on my own. That's literally the first question, he asked me. Wanted to know where my heart was. Why are we doing this? I ran, not solo, but I ran my first Snowdrop back in 2015, I believe, as part of a relay team. Okay. I think the first year was 2014. Is that right? Something like that.
It was 2013 or 2014. Yeah, one of the other.
Yeah. It goes over New Year, so whatever. But that I missed that first year. I didn't have any clue it existed. But the next year I thought, well, this is kind of cool. So I went and did it with a relay team. But man, I was hooked. I instantly hooked about what they were about, what their message was. And since that time frame, I've done many ultras, but I've only done a handful for me. I don't really get the kick out of for my glory or anything like that. You've been out to Snowdrop, right?
Yeah, we're at the fact check this because I'm not sure, because the first time I saw who actually attended the race was 2014, the 2014-2015 New Year's changeover. Trish had promoted it to our club via our social media channels, and I volunteered meaning I've showed up and supported the runners that I know from my club every year. And there's something about that race. So maybe we did see each other back in 2000. We'll figure this out when we get off here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So going around that small little loop, they have the signs out with all the kids' names and their faces. And there's so many kids involved that during the 55-hour period, they change them out. They've got a crew out there to change those pictures. And I couldn't, at the time when I started to get involved with Snowdrop, my kids were young as well. And I could not do loop after loop after loop. And maybe it was one of those things where in the middle of the night and you're feeling kind of loopy, but I kept thinking about my kids and seeing my kids on the signs. And I thought I've got to do something. Like this is a really good cause to be involved with. So pretty much since that, long story short, pretty much since that time frame, anything I've tried to do or dream up or decide I was going to do something that's maybe not that smart, like 185 miles. I've always wanted to do, man, if I could do anything for the kids, even if it was raise $100, and that's all that was. Man, that's $100 more that Snowdrop's got that they didn't have before. So the Texas Independence Relay was something that I've known about for years. Even before I had any business thinking about it, it was like, man, that looks really, really cool. I want to do that. I think the hook for me was, I don't know where I saw it or what I was doing looking for it, but I think I saw like a custom, somebody, I know the tier doesn't do it, but like a custom belt buckle. And I thought, man, that's awesome. That's like, the the tip top of the cake. So yeah, I want to do it. So it's been something that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now. Just really hasn't worked out. Some other A race was, during that time frame or soon after or something like that. So I try not to put too many cookies on my plate because I will definitely try and eat them all. But this year it's going to happen. We're going to do it.
So your original Snowdrop, you did a relay, and then was Snowdrop Ultra 55. Was that your first Ultra, or did you do other Ultras before?
No. So I had done, it was maybe my third. Snowdrop was actually, so I did the relay the first year. The next year was my first 100-miler. I'd never done a 100-miler before, but so Snowdrop was my first. But I had done a couple before. I had just gotten into running. I didn't know anything about it. I was just still in the mindset of, all right, you start, and from the very first step, if you're not ready to throw up, you're not running hard enough. So just go. That's how I was back then. But so now I was pretty young and stupid. Now I'm just old and stupid.
Okay, so you probably did like soccer or baseball or something. We're just all sprinting back in when you were a kid, huh?
Man, I'm a baseball nut. I love baseball. I hate. Notice I didn't say hated. I hate running. It's so terrible. I got into about that time frame when I did the relay for Snowdrop. I had shortly left the military. I had been in the Army for about 15 years, and really my running history was preparing for my 2-mile run in the Army. That was really all I did. And then I was in, I think it was 2011, 2012. I was in Afghanistan, and I think so many runners have this type of story where they get started by saying, I just thought I would just do a marathon. I wanted to do a marathon for some unknown reason. I don't know why. So while I was overseas, I decided I was going to do one kind of a solo deal, and got to thinking about it. And the little bitty, tiny, austere base that I was out of, if I did it just right, I could get 1 mile running, basically around close to the wall.
Oh my.
And so I thought, 26 laps, no big deal. We'll just take care of it. So I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue, and nobody that I was serving with at the time was a really big runner, could give me advice. And call it fate, call it whatever you want to call it. I got in touch with Joe Persitis, and he coached me a little bit, kind of led me, down the path, and told me good luck and let me go on my way. Well, we actually ended up coming home a little bit early from that tour. And so I had decided I was going to do the marathon like right before we left. That's when I was going to do it. It was going to be a good time of year, and I was excited about it. But we left before I got the chance to do it, so I was pretty bummed. So a few months later, Joe just sends me a message, and I hadn't heard from him for a while, and he just sends me a message and says, "Hey, how did it go? Blah, 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 didn't do it, wah, wah, wah." And he said, well, he goes, "That's cool." He goes, I got a 50K coming up in October. Why don't you come out and do it? It's only 5 more miles. I'm pretty sure most ultra people have heard that before.
Oh,
and so I said, yeah, let's do it. Cool. So I went out and let's see, that was 2012. Almost said 13, but I'm pretty sure it was 2012. The Wild Hair 50K was my first. So I went out, I had a blast. I was hooked. And actually during that race, I heard people talking about this Bandera thing. And I thought, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Let's sign up for that. I got signed up for that. And when I showed up to Bandera, I thought, what the bleep did I do? But that was my second one. And it was just kind of the story goes on from there.
Oh my goodness. You're out of control now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now I'm set to attempt this 185 mile thing. So we'll give it a run, see how it goes.
Oh my goodness. Well, Delivering Hope, which was in 2019, the Dalton Highway in Alaska. That's actually when I first heard about you. So obviously we've met a couple of times, including the Snowdrop Ultra. But I had Tracy on, and she was up there in Alaska for the Delivering Hope. You running was not part of Plan A. Was that Plan 4, 5, 6 and Brian Anderson's spreadsheets, or where was it? Like, Kevin was going to do it by himself. That's always there's always contingency plans, especially with a bunch of NASA people. Where was that in the scheme of things, where you're like, or was it spur of the moment? How did that work out where you said Kevin can't run anymore, and for Kevin not to run, there's a serious issue, like his personality is amazing. So how did that work out that you said, I'm going to take the backpack?
So to bluntly answer your question, it was a contingency plan that was not spoken. It was understood, but it was one that it was kind of one of those, like you said, Kevin and his talent, his abilities, his personality, everything, he is everything about Snowdrop. It didn't matter. He was going to get that backpack to the top of the world. No ifs, ands, or buts. A couple of years later, or earlier, rather, before the Snowdrop 55, it was either in 17 or 18. I knew that we had a pretty big lead up to Delivering Hope, but both he and Brian approached me. I think it was maybe a day or two before the event. I was just out there scoping things out. And they said, hey, and they had asked me before, they said, hey, when you get down here, find us, we need to talk to you. And so that's when they approached me about going. And it was a very quick and hard, absolutely, I'm going, no question. But so with that, in doing the planning, it was brought up not even a handful of times that, I was there to be the lead medic, and that was my primary job. And, if it was almost talked about it in a pseudo joking manner, if Kevin got eaten by a polar bear or something like that, then, at least I could pick up the scraps of the backpack and carry on, just because I run. Brian made it very, very clear numerous times that he was in no shape, form that he was going to run, because that's not what he does. So
unless there's a bench, he
said, no, absolutely not. It's not going to be me. So no, the contingency plan was out there, but it was one of those kind of just unspoken.
Wow.
And I'll be honest, even 5 minutes before it happened, I never even dreamed it. I knew Kevin was having a hard time, but I never in a million years, like even in that moment, it still wasn't crossing my mind. I almost have kind of I don't really remember that moment. I know that there's film of it. There's plenty of it. I've seen snippets, and I look like somebody that just doesn't even know what happened.
Well, you weren't dressed for it. I mean, not to put comic relief for it, but you're wearing Texas flag shorts or something. Like you didn't have proper December or it was December or November running weather for Alaska. Like it was just popped out of nowhere.
I'll be honest. I'll spill the beans a little bit. The Texas shorts were a planned thing. We didn't really know when, but I had them in reserve. I brought them every single day that we were out. And my thought was, if Kevin just starts having a really, really hard time, it'll bring a little bit of comic relief. And actually kind of a fun deal about that is, so Brian was in on it. Of course, he's in on everything as the logistics guy. So we, with the temperature and the wind chill and everything that was going on at that moment, we had it down to the minute as far as how long I could be out there. And max time was, I think it was 12 to 15 minutes before I started, getting in danger of frostbite and all of that kind of stuff. So I think the time frame I was actually out running in the shorts was only about 10 minutes, because I think Brian was getting a little nervous about it. But I brought running gear, tried to dress as warm as I could, because the idea is that I would get out and at least run a little bit with Kevin, give him a little bit of company. But it was only before I took up the backpack, it was maybe like the last 5 miles of the day or something like that. Nothing. I didn't want my presence out there to influence him to the extent that I felt like I was carrying him. I thought it was a big thing for him to do this on his own, with the crew, of course, but just to go out and, I have to selfishly admit, it's pretty dang cool to put your shoes on and be like, I'm going to go run out on the Dalton Highway. There's not too many people, that have done that. So that was pretty cool for me, but it just to go out and run with him at the end of the day when he's, smelling the barn and he knows the day is getting close to the end. And it was kind of nice to get out and chat with him and just see, how he was feeling, what his thoughts were. But yeah, that moment I didn't see coming. It was, I never in a million years thought that unspoken, it wasn't even plan Z. It was like even further past that, wow. that was going to come to fruition. It was a total surprise.
Yeah. And I kind of sprung that up on you, but yeah, I just kind of want to hear the story because I had Tracy on and for those people that don't know about Delivering Hope, we'll obviously give you the full story, put links in the bio and stuff like that.
Yeah, please.
But it's just crazy because like as powerful as we all are, especially Kevin, who started, him and Trish started the Snowdrop Foundation. Like we all need somebody. We all need, whether it's a crew or someone just to take. How many miles did you take of the entire length of Delivering Hope was how long? I forgot.
Man, it was, I think at the very end, I think it was like 309, something like that. Just like a hair under over 300. But it was, we went from the true Arctic Circle marker to basically the edge of the Arctic Ocean. And man, that's some of the most brutal weather, some of those brutal terrain and everything in between that I've ever experienced. It was insane.
And then how many miles did you end up doing for over the 300 plus miles? Was it 20, 30?
The day that I don't want to say that I took over, because I definitely did not take over. I finished out that day. I think it was around 30 miles. And then every day after that, Kevin and I pretty much split. And then the very last day, if I'm remembering it right, I think the very last day we ran the whole thing together and just traded off the backpack, either halfway through or back and forth. I can't remember. But I think my total time out on the Dalton was, I don't know specifically, I'd have to say at 75 miles, 100 miles, something like that, somewhere in that window.
That's great.
But no, Kevin took the majority of it. He experienced probably what I would consider to be the worst days out there. Luckily, we didn't run into any, huge blizzards or anything like that, but it was definitely pretty nasty out there. I think the coldest was, I think, around -40, -45.
It's not even a temperature.
No,
oh my God.
It's not. What's really funny, I think it was something that will always stick in my head, but the warmest was, we had a day that it got up to 10 degrees. And I'm not kidding you. It felt damn near tropical. We couldn't shed layers off fast enough. We were just overheating and you're thinking, man, this is ridiculous. It's only 10 degrees. But that's a 50-degree swing that we were running in. So it was definitely insane. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I love how you say you didn't take over, backing up a couple minutes, but yeah, Kevin and Trish, they've started this Snowdrop. It's just this wave of positivity. They have a lot of people behind it, and this wouldn't even come close to happening. So if they wouldn't have started the Snowdrop Foundation, I guess, maybe 10 years ago, but I'm not really sure. I have to do some fact checking on that. So yeah, hats off to them. Just an amazing couple. Love them to death.
Absolutely. They're fantastic people. They have built a community of people that I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that has not experienced Snowdrop in one form or fashion and not gotten hooked to some degree. Everybody out there is so wonderful. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It all starts with Kevin and Trish. When he was doing his radiothon there at the station, and he met Chelsea. I mean, that's the whole start of the story. But they're incredible people. Absolutely incredible.
And we'll definitely have to talk more about the Snowdrop Ultra 55 at another time, just because I just want to promote that, whether people are running relaying like myself. You're obviously not a professional runner. Most people aren't. So you said that the day job, you were kind of like the head medic so what is your day job? What do you do normally?
My day job, I'm a trauma ICU nurse at a level 1 trauma unit.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I decided to do after the military. I figured I needed a career change, and seeing stuff didn't bother me. So I went for it, and that's what I do now.
Okay, so that makes sense. That you were the head medic. Of course, if the medic's out running in the ice and stuff, okay, we're not going to go there. That's crazy. I mean, hats off to you. So the big thing is, I definitely want to let you go because you need to train for the 185 miles, and we'll definitely put links up to the fundraising and everything. But now I got to get you out there because we got to see you on Friday.
You're good. Absolutely, you're good.
Yeah. So for TIR is the goal to start? I guess you said Friday morning, just to kind of give you 48 hours.
The 48-hour time frame comes from Brian, the spreadsheet crew chief master. He seems to think that I'm that fast, which I'm not. But no, we're looking at starting early Friday morning, so about 24 hours ish before the actual start, and we're aiming for a finish time sometime Sunday morning, probably around 8 a.m. ish or so. And that's if everything goes perfectly to plan. So we'll see what that takes.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
Well, we'll be following you as we're driving out Friday. We'll find you, whether you post it up or not, or whether, Brian or somebody will post up on the Snowdrop page. We'll find you. We'll do Absolutely. Our normal, bring the beverages just for us, really. And then, of course, the loud music. That's what we're known for.
Yeah. I will, when you guys come up and pass me, I will try and hang with you guys as best I can, because that's my style right there. Beverages and music.
Oh my goodness, that's great.
You're going to be in pain. You may as well be having fun doing it. So
yeah, well, I'll definitely, I got to get you out in the road. I'll definitely pick your brain more as far as everything, and definitely want to get the recap as you finish at the 48-hour mark. I believe in you. But before I let you go, I always do this lightning round. It's really not a lightning round because it's 3 questions, but then I end up yapping. So there's really no lightning about it.
I like it.
Yeah, you good? You ready?
I cannot be responsible for my answers to trivia questions, but go for it.
All right, terrific. Well, question number 1: what is your night before pre-race ultra dinner?
Now we're gonna go back to my younger and dumber days. So I always thought, man, I'm gonna eat really, really good. I'm gonna have steak and potatoes and all that kind of, definitely a couple of beers. Now I've kind of gone to that's usually I try and load up and get a really good meal like the lunch before. Dinner is usually something pretty simple. Try and stay away from something really heavy that's just going to sit on my stomach all night. I'm kind of like a garbage can, man. I eat whatever.
Well, if it's lunch, it's going to be out of there. So
yeah, if it sounds good. No, I do like a good steak and, get some really good protein and red meat in. Dinner, maybe some fish or something like that, but something a little bit lighter. Definitely some more beer to go with it. So that'll work.
Yeah, I like how you said younger and dumber days. No, I think you're like me. You're just let's just push the limits every year.
Sure.
Well, you're pushing the limits way more than me, but let's be honest here.
I'm still learning. We'll just leave it at that. How about that? I'm still learning.
Oh, super cool. Well, let's talk beer. That was question number 2. What's your favorite post-race beer?
Yes.
Okay. We're in.
Yes. Okay. I try not to make it too much of a habit. I don't want to get known for it, but yeah. I have been known to start a few of Rob's races with a beer in hand and to be the last guy in the very, very back. And it says he says go. It's you hear that in the back. That's me. So
trail runners are different. Yeah.
If I had to pick, I don't know if I could pick a beer. I do love a really good like either like a peanut butter or like a chocolate milk stout, something like that. I mean, kind of like the heavier, darker ones. So not really great while you're running, but just, I mean, if it's good, and come on, like after a good run, like any beer is pretty good, especially if it's cold.
So I was about to say pretty much anything.
Yeah. I'm down for it.
Okay. Well, last question, your dream runcation. So this is, obviously TIR is technically a runcation if you're relaying. Solo, that's not fun. That's not a vacation. So what would be your dream runcation?
Man, that's an easy one. It's something else that's been on my mind for a couple of years now. That's going to be a Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. I've had that in my mind for probably at least 3 years now. Actually had it set up. We had reservations for 2020. And when the bottom fell out, I was only about a month away from doing it. And it was gone. So that's still out there. I really want to do that. And that's not my only goal for that is start really, really early in the morning and be done by dinner time. So, but yeah, just to go out and do that and then spend the rest of the time with the family. Hopefully they don't want to hike back down because I don't want to do it again, but
carry me back up.
Yeah. I always thought that, hearing about that would be kind of cool to do, whatnot, but had never really been out there. And then my wife and I went out. We were actually in Sedona, Flagstaff area. We decided to go out to Grand Canyon for the day. And we didn't even go down to the bottom. We only did maybe a 2 mile hike down and then 2 miles back up. And in doing that, it was like, I want to do this. So that's an easy one.
That is awesome. Well, Scott, I appreciate it. We're definitely going to have you back on to talk after you complete the TIR 185 solo. Right. That's really hard for me to say. Texas Independence Relay solo, but either way.
No, it's not. Totally understandable.
Awesome. And good luck. We'll see you on Friday. We'll see you the entire time, but we'll let you get to training and we'll definitely have you back on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, right on. Hey, before I go, man, I just wanted to toss it out there. Jay and Joy with TIR have been, man, they've been absolutely phenomenal. From the day one that I sent Jay a message and was like, hey, I'm kind of interested in doing this. What do I need to do? There's not it's not really an option on the website deal. And he, kind of walked me through it a little bit. But they have been absolutely fantastic. I had just heard back from them, I think yesterday or the day before, that they're not going to be out at our start. I know that they wanted to be, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them out on the course or at the finish. They've been just, to the T, just fantastic, stellar people. So thank you to them and what they do. Yeah. If they weren't as helpful as they are, it probably wouldn't be possible for us to do this. We're going out there basically just running their course, and they're ecstatic about it. They want to know what we're doing, and even more so, they want to know how they can help. So that's a really cool deal. If you're listening and if you're wanting to check out like what we're doing, please go over and I think you said you were going to drop some links for us. That's awesome. Go check out, snowdropfoundation.org and there's a little clicky button there to donate and our little story kind of comes up a little bit. But yeah, we're heading out to Texas Independence Relay here in about 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah. Woo. And we're going to do 185 miles for the 185th anniversary Texas Independence. And we're looking to raise $18,500. So, no donation is too small. And if you can't donate, I know sometimes, especially right now, times are kind of hard, man. You got that power to click and share, man. Just would really appreciate it to share our message and just kind of get out there and share it with your mom, your dad, your friends, your enemies, whoever. Don't really matter if you're sharing. That's awesome. So, but yeah, man, appreciate you having us on. It's been great.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have you on again. So you're not off the hook. So yes, definitely. share everything out that means a lot to people. And 18,500. I mean, that's $18.50 for 1,000 people. So no donation is too small. If a child wants to throw in their piggy bank of $1.85, it all adds up. All right, everybody. Well, same with this podcast. If you find some good value or find someone that needs to hear any information, share this out. Subscribe if you want to hear the first upcoming episodes, and of course, looking forward to sharing another episode next week.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.